Hey there, BookTube. Noah. Everyone who reads it must converse. Today I'm going to compare and explore a bit two of the strongest sci-fi series that's ever been written. First is Dune by Frank Herbert. You'll see some of the others up on the shelf behind me. And Dan Simmons, Hyperion. This is the first two books in one binding here, and you'll see the other two actually up on the shelf behind me as well. These two series are awesome. They explore a lot of ideas, and I'm not going to go into spoilers on this necessarily because I'm not talking about plot. What I want to do with this one is to explore the ideas, some of the ideas that come out in Hyperion and come out in Dune, and see how the author treats these things and how they are in the universe that the author has created. So first off, I think it might be best to go through some of the differences. And one of the differences that you'll notice right off the bat between the Dune series and the Hyperion series is the Dune series is much longer in time frame. The scope of the Dune series as far as time and space, because we've had, human beings have had a longer amount of time out in space, colonizing worlds and things like that, that the Dune series is much, much bigger and longer in time than the Hyperion series. When the first Dune book starts off, we might be 10,000 years in the future from where we are right now, 21st century. Humans have gone through all kinds of things between now and when the Dune series starts. Discovered all kinds of planets, developed AI. AI has enslaved humanity for a length of time, and we got on the other side of that, broke free, whatever it might be. And humans, there have a lot of history. There's a lot of future history in between the now time and when Dune starts off. In Hyperion, not so much. There's not so much time between now, our time in the 21st century, and when Hyperion starts. There is a good length of time, I would say maybe 500 to 1,000 years max. Something like that. 500 to 1,000 years is probably a good guess, because it's not abundantly clear, and there is some history, but not much. The history that happens with the humans between now and when Hyperion starts is conveyed through the technology, developing different technologies, and when those technologies got put into place, kind of thing. And there's just, there's a lot of different planets and scenes in Hyperion, and not so much focus on a time frame like there is in Dune. Dune is ultimately way more vast. So with Dune, we're looking at like thousands and thousands of years scope, and with Hyperion, we're looking at hundreds of years. And another primary difference that's going to strike you right off the bat, I've already touched on it a little bit, is technology. Technology in the two series. In the Dune series, there is no there is no computers, there is no AI, no vast technological intelligence that we could speak of, because of the time before this book was written. A future history of these human beings where AI has already reared its ugly head and enslaved humanity, and had humanity enslaved for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. And it took so long for humans to break free of that, to overcome the AI, that now computers and technology is outlawed. And that leads to human beings actually evolving in certain ways. There is a race of human beings called mentats in the Dune series that are basically computers. And they are trained, obviously a human being that shows a predisposition towards this kind of thing, and then it is fostered and they are trained in such a way as to be human computers and have a level of calculation that is off the charts, be able to take a lot of different variables into account and work it out in their heads, and they are basically human computers. As far as the Hyperion series, now there is none of that. Hyperion series, technology is going off the rails. Okay, at least in the first two books of the Hyperion series, technology has gone off the rails. There are multiple AIs, huge AI consciousness constructs that all have their own kind of societal structure, their own universe that is kind of laid over our universe, where the AIs and the ultimate technology is called the Techno-Core, and it is pretty much a universe of intelligent machines. It's wild, and it's so much more complex in this way. I'd say that the Dan Simmons Hyperion series is so much more complex than Dune because of this kind of thing, that the AIs and the Techno-Core having their own universe, their own kind of motivations and all this, along with humans and humans being on different planets. It just makes it a wild, wild ride and very, very fun. But also, you're just in this place where you just can't. I mean, for a while with Hyperion, I just couldn't even, wrap my head around it pretty much. I was just reading and going along for the ride. But if I stopped and I thought about it too much, if I really started trying to figure something out, there was nowhere to go. I couldn't figure anything out because it's so complex and there's so much going on that, it was pretty wild. So that's the kind of things that are going to strike you as differences right off the bat. And there is a number of similarities, but they're handled and treated in different kind of ways. So to go into some of the similarities, in both the Dune and the Hyperion series, there's no intelligent alien species. In Dune proper, like in Frank Herbert's Dune, there is never found an intelligent species or intelligent beings on any other planets that are intelligent like humans are, can create their own tools and communicate and all that kind of thing the way that we do. Create art, create a culture. There's not any of that kind of thing in Dune. And there is alien life forms as far as plants, animals, and things like that. They're just not evolved the way that humans are. It doesn't happen. In the Dune universe, it doesn't happen. Humans are it. And in the Dan Simmons Hyperion series, there's not intelligent aliens anywhere. Arguably in the Hyperion series, humans have not colonized and explored the vastness of our universe, the Milky Way, our galaxy. They haven't explored that as much as they have in the Dune series. But there's not any intelligent aliens to speak of. There are some alien races that are evolved a little bit, like dolphins, for example. The dolphins that are brought to a certain planet in Hyperion, they develop a societal structure. But it's not clear as to where it's something that they evolved through time, or if this is just how dolphins are, and even here on the Earth right now, dolphins are like that, and in Hyperion, they just have some tech that lets them kind of communicate or hear their communications. But either way, there's not intelligent aliens in either one of these sci-fi novels, which I like. I mean, you know, I kind of enjoy that kind of thing because it brings us to the kind of thing that both series are concerned with in their own ways, and that is human evolution. The evolution of consciousness, the evolution of the human being. And we'll touch on that in a little bit. I first wanted to say that a major similarity between both the Dune series and the Hyperion series is power struggles. Dune series is centered around power struggles. The entire series, humans do everything. There's not a huge technological presence, no intelligent machines, things like that. So human beings do it all, and there's a lot of humans that have evolved to specialize in different areas of human society that need, that we need in order to function on the level that we function in the Dune universe. So there is an entire group of human beings that have evolved to be the ones that do space travel. For example, they're called the Guild, and the Guild live a very different life than regular human beings. They're completely evolved to a different form of human being, and they don't interact with other, groups and things like that. They run all the space travel, and they travel all the time, and they have their own society, their own societal structure that is very much their own. Same thing with the Bene Gesserits. The Bene Gesserits is a matriarchal ran society of very evolved human beings. These females that are the Reverend Mothers and that are Bene Gesserits, they are very, very highly evolved human beings. They can control their own body temperatures, can control their own internal physiological things, all kinds of stuff. And they can control their own minds to a very, very large extent. Human evolution in Frank Herbert's Dune is a very, very focused on thing. But in this, we're talking about the power struggles are between different kinds of races and different types of families, sure, but ultimately the different races of human beings, because they all have influence. The Tlaxu have a technology that they don't let anybody else know of, and it's a technology to create clones. So they can create, a human being that has been dead before. Well, the Bene Gesserits need that for their breeding program. And things like that. So these groups are forced to work together for human society to function the way that they function. And therein is the struggle. There's where the struggle starts, because these human beings that are very different with different motivations are forced to work together, right? In the Dan Simmons Hyperion series, it is a power struggle for sure, but it's not between different types of human beings. Humans function very much the way that they function in 21st century, the world here, in our time. They are very much believing that they are the top of the food chain, the top of the epitome of evolution and all this kind of thing, when in fact there is a group of evolved human beings that live way out in space and that are coming back. They call them the ousters. So there is another type of human beings that are evolved human beings that humans just look on as evil. Of course, right? They just say, they're coming here to war on us. They're evil. They're bad. All they want to do is war on us, and they want to take us out. And it's just that kind of thing, when they have no idea what what the ousters, these evolved human beings' motivations are. They don't know what they are even. And then there's the humans and the ousters, and there's that kind of struggle that is kind of a mystery for a little bit in the Hyperion series. But the main power struggle is with the AIs. Of course, like I said, the AIs have their own societal structure. There's 3 different types of AIs. One, the volatiles, and the volatiles want to take out human beings. They don't see any need for human beings. the stables, who are AIs that recognize a symbiotic relationship between humans and the AI, and they say, well, we need them, they need us, and we need them. We don't want to do anything. And then there's the ultimates, a group of AIs that are not concerned with material world at all. They are actually developing a higher level intelligence than even themselves. So basically, there are AIs that are developing a god. Their goal is to develop a god, and it is awesome. It's amazing, this kind of thing. And so there's the power struggle in Hyperion, and it brings us right to the next kind of similarity that I wanted to talk about, because both the Dune series and the Hyperion series are philosophical sci-fi. And philosophical sci-fi, Dan Simmons actually takes it even farther to where we are almost in a spiritual sci-fi place with this. Philosophical sci-fi in the way that both of them, Dan Simmons' Hyperion and Dune, both are concerned with human evolution, the evolution of the human consciousness. In the Dune series, we come up against things called the Golden Path. Paul Atreides, he called it the Golden Path, and then by the time you get to God Emperor of Dune, which is which is Paul Atreides' son, becomes an even more amazing Kwisatz Haderach than Paul ever was. And his level of prescience is never fully understood, I don't think. By the time we get to that, what is at stake and what the Golden Path is showing us is that human evolutions and human beings keeping on evolving and going to higher and higher states, consciousness states, and actually evolving their physical form as well, is of the utmost importance, is the only thing that is important. And so a very, very much focus on human evolution as far as stagnation versus growth in Dune. And in Dan Simmons' Hyperion, it is a major focus as well. It is more like, will the humans understand their own slavery? Okay, the AIs, the techno core runs everything, and the humans, like I said, the human beings in the Hyperion series, they all live pretty much how 21st century human beings live. We have electricity, we have nice, warm, cool, comfortable settings. We have technology at our fingertips to, you don't have to work to eat. Your basic life things are provided for you. And even more so, luxuries are provided for you, and they are very, very easy to get, and things like this. And of course, there are elites that live even on a higher level of luxury and comfort, but the normal human being as well, you can basically travel wherever you want and go through it very, very quick and easy. So it is the kind of exploring stagnation versus are human beings, are we going to be in control of our own destiny? Or is there something that human beings want to do, and do they want to grow and do something with this life that we've been given? And so how it works out is amazing, and these kind of things are wonderfully explored in both Dune and Hyperion. So I wanted to just do this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Any thoughts, any questions? I'll do some follow-ups. Maybe do some follow-up videos on certain things that maybe we want to explore some more. Let's explore it in the comments. Either way is all good for me, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see what comes up from it. Thank you very much, BookTube. Catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.